So, you want to own an airline. It sounds simple enough. Get some money, buy a few planes, hire some pilots, decide where you want to fly, and boom, congratulations, you now own an airline. How hard could it be? After all, people need to travel, and since there are approximately 8 billion people on Earth, until someone invents teleportation, most of them are still going to need planes, which makes it rather surprising that airlines are historically one of the least profitable businesses you could own. Seriously. The global airline industry generates close to $8 trillion in revenue every single year, and of that trillion, they get to keep about 20 billion in profit, which is a margin of about 2%, and that's during the good years. So, where exactly does all the money go? Well, in this video, we'll look at the economics of owning an airline, and when we're done, you can decide whether you'd want to own one too. Okay, so this is a Boeing 787. Don't worry too much about the costs. What's more important is that for commercial purposes, this aircraft can carry roughly about 250 passengers. So let's assume our airline flies this aircraft from, say, New York to London, a fairly typical long-haul route. Now, not all passengers are created equal, so our plane has 20 business class seats selling for about $4,000 each, 30 premium economy seats selling for roughly about $1,500, and 200 economy seats selling for approximately $600. Now, assuming each seat sells, this single flight would generate $80,000 from business class, $45,000 from premium economy, and $120,000 from economy, giving us a total revenue of approximately $245,000 for one flight, which sounds fantastic. I mean, if a single plane flies 4 times a day, that's almost $1 million in revenue per aircraft every single day. So at this point, you're probably wondering why Warren Buffett doesn't have his own airline. Well, it's because of that $245,000, the airline will keep somewhere between $8,000 and $2,000 in profit, which means airlines make about $4 to $7 per passenger, which raises a rather important question. Where did that $243,000 go? Well, first off, there's fueling. So our hypothetical New York to London flight burns roughly about 70,000 liters of jet fuel. Now, depending on fuel prices, that alone could cost the airline anywhere from $40,000 to $60,000, which is unfortunate because airlines have absolutely no control over fuel prices. Imagine opening a restaurant where the cost of ingredients changes daily depending on geopolitical tensions in countries you've never even heard of. That's basically aviation. On top of that, there are the fees: airport fees, landing fees, parking fees, passenger fees, security fees, air traffic control fees, jet bridge fees. At this point, airports are less transportation hubs and more extremely successful toll booths. So for some flights, airports and air navigation changes alone can account for over 15% of total operating costs. And then there's labor. Pilots, co-pilots, cabin crew, mechanics, ground staff, dispatchers, customer service representatives, and most importantly, an entire department dedicated exclusively to apologizing. But we're not done there, because we also have maintenance. See, commercial aviation has this bizarre obsession with safety. Apparently, passengers expect the aircraft to remain functional while airborne, which means constant inspection, repairs, overhauls, software updates, and maintenance checks. Frankly, passengers are becoming increasingly demanding. So, after paying for fuel, airports, employees, maintenance, insurance, aircraft leases, catering, and everything else, our $250,000 flight is left with a profit roughly equivalent to what Apple charges for a charging cable. And this creates a problem, because if your profit margins are already microscopic, even the smallest disruption could destroy them. Say bad weather, higher oil prices, a pandemic. And suddenly, our entire business model collapses, which means if I owned an airline, I try to squeeze every possible dollar out of you, and airlines do. Take economy class. Economy class exists because airlines realize that humans are technically compressible. You may have noticed that economy seats are small, very small. suspiciously small. This is because airlines have discovered that if you reduce legroom by just a few centimeters, you can actually fit additional seats in that aircraft. And that additional seat means additional revenue. For example, on many wide-body aircraft, premium cabins occupy a significant portion of the plane despite containing only a fraction of passengers. Why? Because not all passengers are created equal. An economy passenger pays a few $100s and complains about baggage fees. A business class passenger pays several $1,000s for the opportunity to avoid economy passengers. Guess which the airline prefers? And this is why airlines charge extra for checked bags, extra legroom, priority boarding, seat selection, Wi-Fi, food, breathing. Okay, not breathing yet. Modern airlines have essentially adopted the video game monetization strategy. You buy the base game, everything else is DLC. Because when your profit per passenger is measured in single digits, every dollar counts. And honestly, if my billion-dollar company only made $5 every single time it crossed the Atlantic, I'd probably charge for the window seats too. So, would you own an airline? Well, that's up to you. But I know that I like my businesses profitable and somebody else's problem.